So, Joycey, we're here at the 𝗦𝗲𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀 Stadium a few days before the final game of your career. Just talk to me about how you're feeling at the moment.
Bizarre, mix of emotions. Obviously, playing football is all I've ever wanted to do from growing up. Been in the game now at a professional level for 20 years, and you don't think it's ever going to end. And I've not really planned it or envisaged it to end on the 6th of January in 2024. But as we know, opportunities have presented themselves, and that's the decision I've come to. And it's a real mix of emotions. You know, I'm looking forward to Saturday, but at the same time, I'm not. I'm just trying to embrace this last couple of training sessions, and just hoping Saturday goes as well as possible.
So if we talk about the start of your career, as you say, almost 20 years ago, Wigan Athletic, did you have any early ambitions, any goals at that stage?
I think you're just trying to progress and develop and do the best you can, really, initially. Whether that's making your way into the youth team, as I did, under 19s back then, trying to establish yourself in the youth team, do well, impress the coaches. Then if you do get the opportunity to step up and play for the reserves or train with the first team, just do as well as you can. And ultimately you're trying to forge yourself a career in the game. And I was at Wigan Athletic at the time. We were in the Premier League, and it was tough, but I loved it. And when you look back now with fond memories, and the opportunity I had to train with the players that I did, was amazing. And I wouldn't say I'd set myself goals, but it was just, I want to become a footballer, so just do as well as I can every day of the week.
You went on to play in League Two with Carlisle, Accrington Stanley and Port Vale, making over 100 appearances for each. Is there any particular memories you've got from those days?
It's hard to pick out particular memories. Obviously, loved my time at all three clubs. Obviously, at Accrington and Carlisle, spent 6 years at both. And obviously, 3 years at Port Vale. I played a lot of games for Accrington, I think close to around 280 games there, and I was captain for a spell and loved it. And at the time, it was a club that didn't have much in terms of financial backing or facilities and things like that. But I think that was an amazing sort of experience and grounding for myself to go through all the ups and downs there, and some of the achievements we had in terms of just staying in the Football League, getting in the playoffs, was unbelievable. And I played loads of games, and I think that's what kind of made me the player that I was, and that I've sort of gone on to be. And then went back to Carlisle for a second spell as a more established player, a player who played a lot of games already in the league, and loved it. And we did well, and we got in the playoffs. Unfortunately, missed out at the last minute against Exeter in the semi-final. And I look back and think, we should have been promoted really that season, because we had a fantastic squad. And I loved it, and I think I give myself proper representation of who I was compared to the first time around. And then obviously went to Port Vale, and I enjoyed it at Port Vale. And we had the FA Cup game away at Man City, which was amazing. To play at the Etihad was an unbelievable experience, and to play at Anfield for Carlisle in the Cup and take them all the way to penalties was brilliant. And obviously at Accrington, to be captain and play for them for such a long time and play so many games was amazing. So loads of fantastic memories, full of ups and downs, but I won't change any of it.
Obviously in your career you did go into non-league at the Fylde and a couple of loan spells, and eventually here at Radcliffe with us. What differences was there from the professional game to dropping down into non-league?
I think differences would be, obviously you're full-time in terms of Football League, so you're training every day. The facilities, the resources that clubs have in terms of the facilities, training grounds, gyms, all that type of stuff, the medical side of it, the staff in terms of the number of coaches, the medical staff, the analysts, all that type of thing. It is different, but I think ultimately it's full of people who love football. And the spells that I had early on in my career at Barrow and '𝗏𝗀𝘀𝗀𝗀 were amazing experience of playing first team football week in, week out at a good standard. It's funny, my first game for Barrow was actually against Brentford in the FA Cup. A game that was live on 𝗦𝗲𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 Sports, that we managed to beat Brentford in that. Then, like you say, signing for Fylde, 12 months at Fylde, who were full-time, who have got a fantastic setup there. And then obviously being at Radcliffe for the past 18 months. And yeah, facilities might be different and the amount of training you do and things like that. But like I said, it's people who love football and want to do as well as they can.
So you mentioned there joining Radcliffe about 18 months ago, gone on to make almost 75 appearances. What memories will you take from the time at Radcliffe?
Loads of amazing memories. I think, most importantly, it's the people you meet along the way, the players, the managers in terms of, Jono and Bernard now, the staff who were with them. Bobby signed me, working with Bobby, Colin Hendry, the people they brought in. It's been fantastic. Obviously, working with Paul, the chairman, and Marcus. Everybody's been amazing. I think I've loved the football side of it. Of course I have, but I think more importantly, it's the relationships you build, the people you meet. Has been a fantastic 18 months, and I've loved it, and it's given me the opportunity to do other things in my life as well, in terms of not just the football. So I'll be forever thankful for that. And it's 20 minutes down the road, which has been amazing. I actually played my first game for Accrington against Radcliffe in a friendly as well, many years ago, and I remember scoring that game as well, believe it or not. But it's a club that I've always been really fond of, because it's local, and like I say, I scored here for Accrington and always kept an eye on it. And I'm sure after the 6th, I'll be back down many times.
You've obviously seen firsthand what Radcliffe's all about and the direction it's going in. Under Bernard and Jono, where do you see it ending up? The ambition.
It's only going in one direction, and that's forwards. That's a positive direction. That's with the managers who are in charge now, the staff, the chairman, Marcus. They're only going one way, and that's up in terms of the progressing all the time. The plans they've got, what they want to do, the aims, the ambitions are fantastic. The players we've got, the squad, we've got a really talented squad, loads of really good players who have and can play at a higher level. So, I really do look forward to seeing where the club goes, not only this season, but in the seasons to come. And I'm sure, like I said, it's going to be positive, and it's going to be full of progression and development.
Obviously, it would almost not be right to mention the relationship with the club captain, Nicky Adams. What a great career you've had. What does it mean to have played with him?
Amazing. I think, first and foremost, me and Nicky have been mates for a very, very long time, over 20 years. We both grew up in Bolton. We used to play against each other as kids. So I've known Nicky. I've been aware of Nicky in terms of the football environment for over 20 years. We actually both went on a trial game for Bolton when we were about 14 at the Reebok Stadium, and I think they signed Nicky after that game, and I got a thanks but no thanks, and went off on a different kind of path. And me and Nicky played together for 2 years at Carlisle. We've played against each other countless times. We've played with each other countless times. Like I say, we spent 2 years at Carlisle travelling up and down the M6 together. And I think the biggest thing I'll say about Nicky is we'll be very close for years and years after I've stopped playing, after he's stopped playing. And I think to share my last game on Saturday, hopefully playing with Nicky, will be a brilliant send off. And like I say, he's a top player, he's a top person, and I'm sure he's got a good few more years left in him playing.
So obviously, once your playing career is finished, you're going to take up that full-time role, scout role with Brentford. Just what does that mean, and what was your thought process behind it?
I think first and foremost, it's an amazing opportunity for a top club who's playing the trade in the Premier League, and it's not necessarily something I planned on doing in terms of I've not set out on a journey to go into necessarily player recruitment or scouting. I've got a good relationship with the technical director there from when we worked together at Carlisle. We've kept in touch. We had a conversation a few months ago about a possible opportunity. Would I be interested? It's something I would like to sort of pursue. I had a real good think about it. It took weeks. It took conversations with friends, family, and Nicky's involved in that. I spoke to Nicky about it. Obviously, my wife, parents, different people in the game, just to get different opinions on it. And it's something that I was really interested in, and something I delved into in a bit more detail. And after a couple more meetings with the technical director at Brentford, a trip down to Brentford's training ground for a couple of days, it was something that really excited me, and it's something that is going to start I'll be the catalyst for the sort of next part of my footballing journey, really, and next part of my life. And it's something I just sort of couldn't turn down, really, this position in my life, really.
Finally, you undoubtedly become a fan's favourite here at the club during your time. Have you got a message ahead of the game this weekend for them?
I've loved it. It's been an amazing 18 months. A mix of emotions about Saturday in terms of leaving Radcliffe and stopping playing football. It's going to be a tough day. I'm excited, but at the same time, devastated, if that makes sense. But I've loved it, from the fans who are here week in, week out, home and away, from the people I've come across within the club, the car park guys, the people on the gate as you walk through, the ground staff, you guys, the media, everyone's been brilliant, and I have loved it. And hopefully I've put a few smiles on faces. I'm not the type of player who's going to, score goals, as you know. Don't necessarily create goals, but, whatever I do, I put 100% into it. And hopefully people, have appreciated that and enjoyed watching it.
We'd just like to say thank you for your dedication from everyone at Radcliffe to the club. And thank you for doing this interview as well.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me. It's been thoroughly enjoyable. I've loved it.